Yo, what's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of a Hard Knock Podcast. It's your boy Ryan Brooks here, owner founder of Hard Knock Labs. And yo, y'all, it's the end of the year. It's the end of 2023, you know what I'm saying? Let's go. We're out here pushing strong. Made sure to bring water this time because if y'all remember from last week, I was sick. So I had COVID, y'all. I had COVID. And, yeah, obviously I was good. I was fine. It wasn't fun because the worst part about it was like just the body aches, you know what I'm saying? Like for me, like this time, like, you know, so I know it's different for everybody, all that stuff. But yeah, man, I just had like these really bad body aches. I deal with, nasal congestion already just because, you know, I got allergies and stuff like that, so I deal with that frequently. But that actually wasn't as bad. It was really just body aches, headaches, and then like the tail end of it where I'm at right now, I actually finally tested negative. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? I tested negative. So that's good. We're about to be back at it. I got to test again. They say you normally want to test twice. So not within 48 hours. So 48 hours spread. So, but until that time, while I'm out and about and stuff, I'm going to be, you know, masked up, you know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know is mask off. You feel me? Future style. So, all right, y'all, like I said last week, since we're, you know, this is the end of the year, man, like, this episode is dropping right between Christmas and, the new year. And so I thought I might talk a little bit about just like the new year. And as I was preparing for it, I was thinking about like how everyone wants to like set goals and, you know, they set their New Year's resolutions, all that kind of stuff. Me personally, I never been like a New Year's resolution kind of person just because I'm a Capricorn and my birthday is literally right after the new year. So my birthday is January 13th. If any of y'all ever want to like send me stuff for my birthday, I'll accept. But you don't have to. I'm just kidding. And sorry. Weird thing about having facial hair is that sometimes you just get like hair in your mouth for no reason. But I was thinking about like, for me personally, like how I kind of go about setting my goals. Cause like I said, I typically don't do them for the New Year's resolution. I actually do them around my birthday. I don't know what it is. Every year on my birthday, I just get like really depressed and like down on myself. For a long time, I actually wouldn't even share my birthday, let people know that it's my birthday, which would surprise a lot of my friends today because I make a big deal out of it. I went from like one extreme of being so depressed about my birthday that I wouldn't tell anybody about it to the other extreme that I like tell everybody about my birthday. And then the day my birthday comes up, I feel super depressed and like tell everyone not to bother me. I got some work to do, you know. I'll let my therapist unpack that. But it's so funny because as I was just thinking about this episode and thinking about what I wanted to talk about, I actually went back and I looked at my personal sketchbooks. So I call them sketchbooks. Some of y'all might have diaries, journals. I call them sketchbooks because I like to sketch. I like to doodle. I like to draw, like, you know, and it collects my drawings, it collects my thoughts, it collects like all these just random things. And so I'll actually show y'all what I grabbed. So look at this. This is a ton of sketchbooks dating back to, this first one is from 2016. I think I did this before then. And for some reason, I think I dropped off for a while and then I picked it back in 2016. And then what I would do is I would like date the put the date that I open it up, and then when I get a new one, I'll put that close date on there. So this is from like 2016 all the way to 2019, which is weird. Like you would think that when the pandemic started and stuff back in 2020, I would have like picked up another one. But the thing is, something weird happened because I actually ended up getting myself a iPad Pro, and I started going digital for a while. And then I was like, I don't like I still like to do things digitally, but like it wasn't the same. So I got back to sketching, but instead of having these big books like this, because I have to carry a book bag around and stuff, I have like a whole bunch of mini sketchbooks that I started doing. But the thing that kind of sucks about that is that they're not in chronological order anymore. So they're in random orders. I would just grab the closest one without I have a thought and stuff like that. So I kind of want to get back to that, because something that was very interesting for me today, because I was looking for a specific entry. So I started from the beginning, and then lo and behold, the entry that I was looking for was in the second to last journal, or second to last sketchbook. But I just went through, it was a little bit emotional, going through some of these like entries that I had in here. Like, I mean, the first entry that I had in one of these was just around like my birthday, when I was younger, and being really depressed about like sharing my birthday, and like the people who wanted to spend time with me during it. Like how I felt like a lot of the people that were there weren't real friends, and it was like, you know, a little depressing, you know what I'm saying? And then I like these journals got like, they're deep, yo, because these are very personal. These aren't things that like I share with people, you know what I'm saying? Like, so welcome into my world, y'all. But like, it even had like, man, like entries that I wrote when, like, from breakups, crushes, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, losing friends, all kinds of stuff. But it's not just that kind of stuff either. Like I said, it's a sketchbook. So like my first one, I think I just didn't like this book. Like I didn't like how it worked. So I actually switched really quickly to these kind of like moleskin ones. But like you'll also see like, you know, I was drawing, you can't even see that, but I was like drawing like interfaces in there, you know, like I had between me and my ex, our tallies for games that we would play. Like everything was in here. Like everything's in here. Checklists. It's funny. And like it's so funny too. I can tell what jobs I was working at in different times by the way that I made my checklist for the job. Because like there was a phase where I was like working a job that I couldn't stand the job, yo. Like I just couldn't stand the people there. I just like high key hated it. And there was this song that came out. It was like the song that I found on what was that app called? SoundCloud. It was a song that I feel like I'm getting old. It was a song that I found on SoundCloud called Thuggin' Shit Part 2. And it was like SHIDD, you know? And and like the cover for this like the album art for it or whatever was like trippy. It was like a dude like a gun, but like the gun was like through his mouth. It's actually kind of gruesome. It's kind of gruesome to look at. But I did this thing whenever I had a checklist for work. It just said work shit with like a SHIDD, and then it had a face with X's for the eyes and an O like the O for the mouth and a gun next to it, like. And I'm just like, you could tell like I was not loving that job. And it's like a lot of entries of me like putting that in there, like, and that's the checklist. But what I wanted to get to and what's kind of the point of this episode is like like I said, I tend to get really depressed around my year. Like I'm really hard on myself. You know, I have really high expectations for myself, way higher than anybody. I put way higher expectations than I put on anybody else. Like it's actually not even nice. You know, and that's something that I got to work through, but it's also something that's pushed me in a lot of ways. And when I was looking through these books, I finally found it. And there was one year that like I was just not in a good place. Like I just wasn't in a good place. It was it looks like, and again, this isn't around like I make my goals whenever I make my goals, you feel me? But what I did was I just felt disappointed in myself. I just felt really down. There was a lot going on, personally, career-wise, financially, everything. Like, so this was back in like 2019, actually. It looks like it was April 2019. And I just like wrote out a list of why I felt so disappointed in myself. And I just listed out all the things that I was just unhappy about. Like, I had a closet. I was living in an apartment, a garden unit apartment. And my closet had like a shelf that had fallen and I just never fixed it. And so then like my closet just ended up being like a closet that you don't open, right? Like I would just throw stuff in there, close the door, never look at it again. And like just the idea of all that stuff that was behind that closet, and like it was like metaphorical in a sense, but it just made me feel so like defeated. Like that didn't help. You know, my credit wasn't where I wanted it to be. I wasn't making the money I wanted to make. I was the student loans. Like I wasn't like where I wanted to be in my career. I wasn't fit the way that I wanted to be. There was a lot of things. Like I made a list of all these things, and it sounds messed up because when I talk to people about it, they're like, yo, like that's so depressing. Why would you do something like that? And, but like, I'm so happy that I did it, because then it started to become a regular practice. And it's not just that, but what I would do is I would list out every single thing that I was just like, you know, that I wasn't happy about in my life. Things that I wasn't happy about in my life, you know, like there was just, you know, I wanted to stare a lot of my problems in the face and stop ignoring them, which like, I feel like I go in and out of habits of avoiding my problems or facing them, right? Right now I'm in another stage of facing problems, you know, staring them in the face. And, but I really wish that I would have started doing this earlier, because what I did again is I just listed out all the things that I just wasn't happy about. And then what I did was I went on the next page and then I flipped them and then I turned them into affirmations. And so then I turned them into like affirmations that I can say to myself. But it doesn't stop there. And quick anecdote, I was talking to my sister recently because she's like, 2023 has just been ghetto, y'all. Like it's been a ghetto year. I don't even think like, I'm not here to say like, oh, new year, new me, like 2024 is my year. I actually don't even think that I don't think 2024 is going to be my year necessarily either. I think it's going to be a grind time year for me. I think it's going to be about getting down and dirty and doing the work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think 2023 was getting hit, right? It was like getting hit by all of my problems and all the things that I had been ignoring over the pandemic, you know? And then the latter portion of this year has been me like saying like, okay, it's time to like, okay, you just got hit. Now what? You know? And looking at like, okay, what steps do I need to do? And I don't think that I'm going to be out of the water that easily in 2024, but I have a plan of what I'm going to do and how I'm going to be resolute, dedicated, and disciplined throughout the year to accomplish what I need to accomplish to get to where I want to be. And I was talking to my little sister because she's in a similar space. I don't want to put all of her information out there, but she was just like, yo, like, how do you, she was like, yo, I'm dealing with this and that and this and that. And I was like, man, like that sucks, you know, like that's tough, you know? And then she was like, what would you do if you were in my situation? And I told her, I was like, I'll make a list of all those things. I'll make a list of all of those things that are bothering me, like all those things that I'm not happy about, things that I'm depressed about. Like I would list all of them. And then I would prioritize them. I would ask myself, what are the easiest things to fix? And what are the things? So I'm all about my 2x2s, right? I told her I'll put it on a 2x2 and ask myself, what are the easiest things for me to fix? And then also, what are going to have the biggest impact on my personal self-worth and feeling, right? And I would rank them by those two things. And then I would just make a list. I would just take the top three things and get to work on them, make a plan for them. And it takes time. Like it literally takes time because like, yo, this list that I wrote here, I've gotten through most of it. But there's a handful of things that like I still got to work on, you know? And now I got new problems, but like doing it on a regular basis has been good. But like I was dating someone, like the last person that I was dating, she said something about like, yo, you got this and that going for you. Like, you know, like not a lot of guys have this or that going for them. And I'm like, well, I didn't always have all of this stuff. Like, you know, like I wasn't always him. You feel me? I wasn't always him. But this is my practice. This is what I do. Like I list out all those things. And another thing too, is I list out like the person that I want to become, the person that I want to be. And then I say, what's the delta between who I am today and that person? And I start to pick apart, like, what is it that I want to be? So like this girl, she was like, yo, like, she's like, she's like, you're smart. You know what you're doing with your job. You got confidence when you come in the room. Like you work out, you're fit. You got all this stuff going for you. Right. And I was like, that stuff took a very long time for me to get. I wasn't like that when I came out of high school. You know what I'm saying? Like when people knew me in high school, like, I mean, yeah, I was chill. I had my crew of people that I kicked it with. I wasn't like I was just like a straight up loser, but I wasn't the coolest kid. You know what I'm saying? I had my things that I liked and I had my things that I didn't like. And, I've always had my things I'm self-conscious about, or, and things that like social anxieties, all that kind of stuff. Like those aren't things that just came to me. But what I've done over the course of several years is I will just pick a couple things off of that list and work on them. The first year that I tried to do this, I was just looking at this, like I made plans of like, okay, what can I get done in a week? Because this is my first time doing it. Now I've kind of refined my process. But I was like, what can I get done in a week? What can I get done in a month? What can I get done in 3 months? What can I get done in 6 months? And so on and so forth. A lot of those things that were like, in a week, I got them done in a week. Some of these things, like I was like, oh, the gym. So some of these things, when you start working at it, you realize that it's not as simple as just going to the gym. It's like some of these things are mindset shifts that take a lot longer and need more dedication and time. For instance, it wasn't like I first, like when I, as an adult, first started like working out and stuff when I was like, I want to say like maybe 26, maybe 25. Nah, I think I was a little bit younger than that, but like mid 20s was when I first started working out. Up until that point, I was like, I've always been tall and skinny. So I was like, yo, I'm telling you, I was 6'1", weighing about $140, $150. skinny, yo. And I was always self-conscious about it. I hated it. I hate when people come up to me, ooh, you so skinny. You so skinny. You a toothpick. And I'm like, shut up. You know what I'm saying? I hate that. Like, get out of my face, fat, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, quit body shaming me, you know? Like, body shaming comes both ways. But that was something I was always self-conscious about. And in my book, I was like, yo, man, I want to get fit, whatever. You know, and I did the gym for a while, injured myself, stayed out of the gym for a hot minute. I'll tell you, like when I got in the gym at that time, I went from like 150 to around like I want to say 160 during that time. You know, maybe 165, starting to get up towards 170. I got up to like about 170, I want to say. And then, so then I finally got my grown man weight, you know, a little bit after that. And, but then I stayed out of the gym for a while, got the dad bod, all of that. This year, a goal of mine was to make fitness a habit, because I realized at that point that it was a mindset thing, not a just go like, and just like, oh, like going to the gym is now the goal. You know, it was a mindset thing. It was like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym with any goals around what target weight I want or anything like that. I just want to go to the gym with the goal of making it a habit and my nature and what I do, so that when I don't go to the gym, I feel weird. And that was the whole goal for me and my fitness stuff in 2023. And then it was like, next thing you know, I was looking good. I'm feeling good. I actually feel really weird that I couldn't go to the gym last week because I was sick. And so, it's about taking that look at what are the things in your life that like you would like to change. What things do you want to change? And can you prioritize those things out and focus on a couple at a time? Because it's really about the journey and the person who you become along that journey than it is to reach those actual goals. And I would say pick like 2 or 3. I was talking to my cousin like a couple of years ago. Like we're like accountability partners. Me and my cousin are accountability partners, and then also me and my boy Berdan are accountability partners. And then I got a new one too, my boy Glenn. I want y'all to meet all of these people. I want to bring them on here. Really great people. But I noticed something. Like I listen. Like I like to try out what people tell me, you know, and see how it happens and how it works. But they told me to, not Glenn, but on different occasions, my cousin Alex was like, you need to have like all these different goals that fall into these different categories. And there were like several different categories. And then I brought that to my conversation with Berdan, where we tried to make these goals that fit in all these different categories. And I'll tell you, on the surf, like for me, just personally, it makes sense, right? It makes sense. And I think that it's good to think about like these different categories. But in practice, what I've noticed is that I'll only achieve 1 to 2 of those goals, even though it'll be like 5. And then I don't like how that feels for me. I don't like how that feels for me to only hit like that percentage of my goals. So I personally feel like it's better to just set like 1 or 2 goals, and then maybe set like a couple other things as things that you want to keep your eye on, or as like stretch goals for your year. But you don't just stop there though at setting goals. You need to have plans. So that's why I like to pick a couple big things. You could also have like, say you have like a couple, 2 like big goals, and then a whole bunch of small goals that you know you can just knock out at different points in the year. That might be easier. But like for me personally, I don't like setting too many goals, too many big goals, because what I'll do is I'll take those goals and then I try to create a plan or a roadmap of how I'm going to get there. And it's fine if you don't stick with that plan, or if like things like change, or if you learn more, if you will have to shift or pivot, because like, you know, you don't know everything that's going to come out of it at the onset. You can only, it's like my favorite quote from Mike Tyson. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. You're inevitably going to get punched in the face at some point. So you need to be able to like maneuver around and pivot and do as you need to help you reach that goal. But that's my process, is taking an inventory of who I want to be, what I'm not happy about in my life presently, and then flipping those things, turning them into affirmations, and then prioritizing them, prioritizing those things, and working at them one at a time, and creating a plan to work through them. It's so funny because this is what I do in my life and in my practice. And now this is what I do with my clients, right? Like whenever I do like a strategy session or anything with a client, what I do is I sit there and I have us really look through the challenges. Like what are all the challenges that we're facing currently? And then I have us prioritize these challenges. And then once we prioritize the challenges, we make a roadmap of how we're going to solve each of these challenges, because you can't do them all at once, and you got to and you got to focus in order to make progress. If you don't do that, you're just going to have the same problems you have today forever, you know, until something magical happens. And honestly, when that magical thing happens and the magic wears off, you're right back to square one, having those problems again. So I don't know. I hope this is helpful as you're kind of thinking about what you want to do for your 2024, what's your journey going to look like? What things who do you want to become, and what steps and what actions do you need to set in place in order for you to become that person? So that's what I want to leave you with. What are who do you want to be? Not in 2024, not in 2025. Who do you want to be in general? And what are 3 things that you can focus on to get you closer to becoming that person in 2024? With that, I'll leave it. And thank you again for being in the ear for me and listening to my thoughts. I look forward to hearing what you say. Later. Peace.